I am not quite sure if a threat was made during that moment, but what I do see is someone being turned away. The words were very clear, and in the aftermath, there is a wondering if perhaps they were incorrect or too harsh. One party, this person who came to you, was looking for healing, for health, for movement in a good direction. The cards show an injustice being done by holding on to a situation and refusing to release it. They also show that you are upset about this, and the other person hears you loud and clear. They know you are not willing to help or create a fresh start in the way they need. The outcome of the reading is unusual. I do not see this often. It is not cute, but in a way it is, because this person is determined to tell themselves they are free of the whole situation. They say they do not have to attach themselves to anything. But as the cards unfold, it is not necessarily true. They are trying to convince themselves that this is in the past, that what is broken should stay broken. Yet the truth is that this person is still in love. They cannot get the other out of their mind. They tell themselves it is over, that it will not work. But then they wait, they dream, and in their dreams, the person is still there. This cycle repeats, convincing themselves they are detached when they are not. They are in love, and they cannot admit it to themselves. It bothers them deeply that they cannot erase what has been done. The imprint of this person is so strong that it cannot be broken. They are driven and determined to correct the problem, to find a solution, to move forward. Meanwhile, the other person is not giving in the way they used to. Since the boundary was placed, they have gone silent. They sit in a state of deprivation, of misery, and it is not what they wanted. It was not their choice to be in this condition. They feel the choice was unethical and unfair to be placed in such a position. They are doing what they must to move forward in life, perhaps repairing their financial condition or even one of their more expensive assets. But they are doing it under pressure and to their detriment because it causes harm. It looks as if they are barely scratching by. Still, the message is clear. They heard you the first time. They have not crossed that boundary. They saw the door was shut, and in their mind, they accepted that this was the way you wanted it. So they are handing it back to you in that same way. And Taurus, I will be honest. The longer this has gone on, the longer they have respected the boundary, the more the cards suggest that you may not have been entirely serious about it, because now it shows that you need this person after all. I cannot say who, what, when, where, or why, but the cards show that as time passes, you miss their conversations. You are beginning to see that what they said was true, and that realization disturbs you. It looks as if you are very willing to travel to see this person, very willing to relieve some of their hurts. It is as though you are beginning to understand that what happened was a wrong call. Even though you felt it was to your benefit to draw the line and create the boundary, the imprint is too strong. There is something in this person that brought you ultimate joy. It also shows that if you have spoken with others about how broken the situation is, they may have told you to stay away, that this person upset you and that staying away was the best course of action. But the cards say no, you are not going to do that. You want to see this person in person. You want to sit with them and feel what it is like to be in their aura, but you want to do it under certain terms. It is strange because you do not want to give them hope in their heart when you do it. You do not want to give them promises. You do not want them to think that just because you traveled to see them, it means permanence in your world. It is simply a question in your mind that you need answered. Do you truly feel a certain way about this person or not? And it bothers you because this particular someone is not like anybody else you have ever met. They are not like a past situation that failed. You are beginning to see that now. There is something in that past situation that showed a lack of character, a disappointment. If I am honest, the person from the past that I see, the one you were in a commitment with, something happened where they suddenly stopped working with you. The cards show that you and this past person were not friends when you met. It looks as though you may have jumped into the relationship quickly. And when the breakup came, your heart was broken because you felt they had broken a promise. There was a lot of divine masculine energy in that past relationship. Money, career, goals, achievements, accolades. But something was missing. The sadness of that breakup still lingers. And as you sit and look at that past person, at all the ins and outs of that relationship, it becomes very easy to say that the one you are concerned with now is not the same at all. The conditions are completely different because this time you were best friends. The person on your mind, the one driving you restless, the one you cannot get out of your head, when that relationship cracked and was destroyed, you realized they were your best friend. Perhaps you had never slept together. Perhaps you had never spoken about an affair. Maybe you told them you would not have an affair and you put your foot down. But you also left them alone, and now they haunt you. They are connected to your psyche in a way that life itself cannot replace. You want to make this right. You are not looking for a fight. What you are seeing is something inside yourself that asks, why do I always think danger is going to be there? Why do I always think entrapment is going to be there? Why do I always put myself in the position of expecting loss when I begin to look at love? Maybe this person brought you an awareness of the difference between love and sex, between friendship and falling in love, and the fear of losing a friend because of attraction. There is a mix-up here, and this person pointed it out to you by their absence. They showed you what you could not see before. There is goodness in this person. Unlike the others from your past whose value systems were distorted, this person's values are not. They make you feel good about yourself when you are in their presence. They make you feel welcomed. It is humbling to admit that you love the feeling of being with them, and maybe that is what drives you crazy. The card that came out shows that this person has no comparison. There is no one else who can love the way they do. You have never seen anything like it. They are warm, they are kind. When you are with them, you feel whole. If there have been stories spread about them, gossip or slander, the way they handled it has been admirable to you. If people mocked them or laughed at them, they turned their face away. They got busy. They shut the door. They chose to look toward a future that could help them grow and make an impact on the world. The situation did not cause them shame. They refused to adopt the shame others tried to pin on them. And just as you would say, I do not need to be involved in anything. I am a singular entity. They too chose to step back from chaos. You have done your due diligence with this person over time. And you have seen that they would rather be alone than deal with others who look at them as if they are different. This person has chosen a personal ethos that speaks about accepting the fact that everyone must create themselves, become who they are, or know themselves as they are, and then live that life without apology to others. As they move forward, they think about the future, and they seem to draw to themselves other exiles. They are surrounded by friends, but there is something here about their acceptance of life as it is, without overcommitting to the point of obsession. They do not take their insecurities and throw them out into the world. When you watch how they move forward, you see that they do not compare themselves to the rest of the world. They do not measure themselves against success. They are not one of those who says, I am a certain age and I should have all of these things by now. That is not how they operate. The way they see it, they are up against themselves and no one else. Either they are going to be a better person today, or they are going to look at how they have not been a better person in the past. Rarely does it involve the company of other people making them feel small or less than who they are. When you sit and watch this person, you see how brave they are. They can stand in a group of people who look at them as different, who tell them they should carry shame because they are different, who say you should be ashamed of yourself. Look at what you have done. You need to conform to the herd. They listen, but they let the critical words flow down their back like water off a duck's back. Just because someone says something does not mean they have to own it. The admiration you have for this is tremendous. They are not allowing others to define their worth. They are open to love. Like everyone else, they do not want to experience pain, but they accept that loss and pain are normal and that you cannot have love without pain. They are removing themselves from exterior things that would drain their energy. They are proud of showing the world the struggle they have gone through. They are not afraid, and maybe that is the point of the whole reading. On one side, you have people who are afraid of what everyone else thinks. On the other, you have this person who is not afraid. They are simply sharing their journey with the world. It seems that the most vulnerable person in the room is the most trustworthy person in the room. Whatever went on between the two of you before, whatever painful conversation happened, I do not think this person took it personally. To me, it looks like they did not. It looks like they nodded their head and said, if that is the way it is, then that is the way it is, and they moved forward. Perhaps you anticipated that they would react like your ex-partners, chasing you down the road, stalking, peppering you with texts and voicemails, but this person does not do that. They took your no for no and they closed the door. This person has a history of sitting in the dark, sitting with themselves in the shadow. It looks like someone who is very used to isolation, as if they had been in prison or in abuse. They got themselves out of that before. They chose to wake up and say, life matters to me, my life matters to me, and I am going to fill it with wonderful experiences and share them with the world. They do not need groupies. They do not need followers. They are reaching for their own value system and wanting to live it completely. It is a dynamic, revolutionary way of living life. And you watch them as they do this, and it bothers you because you do not know if they still like you. You do not know if they still love you. This person is cool with being on their own. They made it very clear to you over time that they know exactly what happens in herd-like groups, where everyone is shallow, where opinions are cheap and cost nothing to say, where no one is committed. They are not on that path. They are strange. They are different. You have never met anyone like this, but the question lingers. Do they even like you? Do they even want you? Maybe it has to do with perspective. One's perspective of the world they live in and how they best fit within it. This person is not insecure, not running from mockery or gossip. This person is full of faith, full of confidence, and without fear as they step out into the world. They see gossip and slander for what it is, cheap shots, where it is easy to have an opinion but harder to actually work and build. Their response is simple. I see your manipulation, and if you want to play that game with me, I am shutting the game down. I refuse to play, and they chose to leave saying, I am out. This sort of confidence is not something you are used to. They are not sitting on pins and needles waiting for a phone call. They are not waiting for a text. They shut the door that easily and moved on. They are not doing drugs. They are not putting themselves out there trying to date people. And now it has you questioning, was your position in all of this correct, or was it your insecurity shining through? Because the longer they hold this stance, the more it puts you in awe. This is the person you want to be with. This is the person you would want to run away with. You are attracted to their lifestyle, their confidence, their way of being. There is something here, and if looks are involved, then perhaps you have not stood in their presence. And if you have, you are trying to figure out how to cover your expressions so they cannot see through you, so they cannot look directly into your insecurities about participating in the fallout. Taurus, I laid the rest of the oracle cards down. They say you need to follow your feelings on this, not your logic. The trait being carved out here because of this person's presence is bravery. To build your self-esteem, you must stand up to it. It is like this. If I need courage from you, I am not going to give you a weak assignment. I am going to give you an assignment that requires courage at a level just a few degrees above your head so that you can grow a couple more inches. This person embodies something you admire, something you love, something you are attracted to. To allow them near you, to allow them into your life, will require you to open a little, to let their influence in. The inner strength it takes to step up and see that this is a person who fills your cup, whether you like it or not, is the very thing being asked of you. They make you feel good about yourself. They lift you up. They show you that life has more than the commonalities of your current microcosm. The thing is, if you step closer to this person, you know they will see right through you. If you wear a mask, if you try to play a game, they will see through it and shut it down, just as they did before. They are too tired to play games. They will not do it. The cards show that this is where your inner strength is being called, to embrace a spirit of love, to go near this person and simply tell them the truth. I was wrong, and that is on me. They would respect you more for coming in exactly as you are in a spirit of love without paranoia attached. They know you are skittish. They know you are nervous. They know this. They also know you well enough because of the connection you shared that if you do not come in like that, they will call it out. This is someone you admire. And when you admire someone, it is because there are traits in them that you respect. The cards show that you must go in with that mindset. These traits are what you are after. I want to stand next to this person. I want them to be part of my close group so that I can learn, so that I can see what they have, so that I can adjust or make a choice depending on what I discover. It is that whole vibe of if you want to be a millionaire, you have to go hang out with millionaires. Whether the sexual attraction piece is there or not, that is not what they are looking at. This person accepts people as they are. And if there is attraction, it is probably because of their intelligence, not because of their work, not because of their paycheck, not because of their status. The cards say to trust your feelings, but the huge question that hangs in the balance is, what is it that you want? Because you would have to walk in and say, we need to start over fresh. I screwed up last time. And you would have to own it. You would have to say, is there something I can do to make it up to you? Yes or in? Because this other person would prefer a straight talker over someone who dances around a bush. That is your reading, Taurus. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you all next time. Bye.